the DRS Infantry Assault Rifle, the most versatile light machine gun in Battlefield 6. In this video, I'm gonna give you the best attachments for this weapon, so make sure you drop a like and a subscription so you don't miss out on future gun guides and news related to Battlefield 6. Thank you so much. Now let's head into our attachments. For the sights, as usual, you're gonna run whatever you want. This is completely personal preference. I have had success running 1x scopes, 1.25 scopes, and even some of the higher magnification scopes on this weapon. However, if you're gonna play a little bit more aggressive, you like to move around, just stick with 1x scopes on it. For the lasers, we opted to use the green laser, which only costs 10 weight. There is another laser in play here, which is the 50 WM green laser, but it costs 10 more weight. And for some reason, it doesn't actually give you more hip fire compared to our laser, which costs only 10 weight. So this is why I decided to stick with this laser. On the suppressor side, we are running the long suppressor, which is in my opinion the second best suppressor in the game. If you actually read what it does, it says reduces recoil buildup and improves recoil recovery at the cost of hipfire accuracy and weapon sway. This is actually incredibly important for most light machine guns in the game. For our barrel, we are running the extended barrel because it gives us 900 muzzle velocity, which is absolutely incredible at range. This muzzle velocity makes this weapon nearly hit scan at range. So with some good firing techniques, you're gonna be landing most shots with your gun on basically all ranges. On the grip side, as it is standard currently in the Battlefield 6 meta, I'm running the alloy vertical grip because it only costs 20 weight, reduces my recoil, and doesn't give me any negatives like some of the other grips. The other option, of course, is the slim angle grip, which is also incredible. It costs only 5 more weight than the alloy vertical grip and gives you some other bonuses as well. So I'm gonna leave it here to your choice. For my magazine, I'm running the 36 round mag. The other option you can also consider is the 30 fast mag, and then if you do equip the 30 fast mag, you can actually run the lightened suppressor if you so like. But I find that having 6 more rounds in an LMG is actually more beneficial than having slightly faster reload speed, and our suppressors basically do the same thing. So I decided to go with the 36 round mag, but as I said, you can also try the 30 fast and see if that maybe fits your playstyle a little bit more. That sums up our attachments for DRS-IAR. Now let's take this build and hop into our Iberian Offensive escalation match solo queue, and let's see how I do with it. I actually really enjoy playing Iberian Offensive, but currently I'm also playing Breakthrough in Battlefield 6, and this map for some reason by DICE was decided to not be included in the Breakthrough pool, so you can only play it on Conquest, Escalation, and some of the other smaller modes. I believe King of the Hill and Domination, but Escalation I find to be pretty solid game mode of choice if you are playing alone in Battlefield 6. Because Breakthrough, let's face it, is a linear mode. You're going to be much more reliant on teammates, and as we all know, when you play alone in Battlefield 6, it can be pretty rough to find teammates that know what they're doing to win a linear game mode. Here, you can rotate a bit more, there are more strategies in place if you know the map. Now, I played a bunch of Iberian Offensive during the beta, so even if I didn't play it now a lot during the launch version of Battlefield 6, I don't know the angles, I don't know the positions and so on. So for example, if you're gonna approach this flag on Conquest, I believe this will be Charlie, and somebody's hiding on the flag, that usually means they're gonna be exactly there in the bathtub. Usually all of the people hide here in the bathtub. Sometimes you will find invisible claymores and other nuisance there, but this is generally the area they hide at. And I like to stick between, you know, that middle flag and here, which would usually be Bravo on Conquest, and here it's a different flag. And I like to rotate out basically between those points. There are the outer points you can also consider running into, but you're gonna need a jeep or a tank to actually go there because there's gonna be a bunch of snipers. It's gonna be a lot of mines running there as infantry, especially if you're not going to be playing Medic, because Medic is the only class that actually has smoke grenades in this game. It's going to be pretty rough entering some of those outer areas. So I would just say stick with the middle of the map if you're playing solo queue. If you're going to be playing with the team, of course, then you can do whatever you want, but I believe that, you know, when I do a weapon guide, I want to present it, if I can, of course, in solo queue, because not all weapons perform as well as they do, like, alone as they do in a pre-mid. So if I'm going to run here, I don't know, like a DMR, M39 DMR, in a map which is kind of like short to close range, it wouldn't be that beneficial, would it? And I think I would be better off just running a DRS-IAR or some of the other better guns suited for all things, basically. And I think this is where DRS-IAR really shines. It's just one of those guns which really does everything for you when you're playing alone. You have a weapon which has, you know, solid rate of fire. You have a weapon which has 37 rounds in a mag. Well, 36 plus 1 in the chamber, but it's 37 rounds. This is a lot of kills before you do have to reload. And then when you do finally have to reload, it's only going to be a 2.4 second reload for a light machine gun. Remember, this is a light machine gun. So 2.4 seconds, I think, is very, very generous. One big tip I'm going to give you for this weapon is try not to move when you shoot it. For some reason, DICE decided to make it so that your maximum spread on this gun and some of the other, let's call it smaller light machine guns, which aren't belt-fed, like M240 Bravo, M260, and all the other huge weapons, they all have the same spread when you move it. So, when you do shoot this weapon, try to stand still. When you do try to move when you're going to be shooting it, you will notice how the spread becomes pretty much, very RNG as it is in Battlefield 6 currently. So, pick a position when you see enemies and try to stand still. You see here when I'm shooting this guy, I'm just standing still. So try to do or replicate the same things when you can. Of course, Battlefield 6 is a very chaotic game, so not always will you have an opportunity to just stand still when you're shooting your LMG, but it is the optimal way to actually use this weapon. I have to say the shrinking nature of escalation and the way this game has been built has really put our build to test. We are engaging people on close range, on mid range, and on long range. And you see here when I'm standing still on this pretty high distance for a LMG, people just absolutely melt. You do have to remember though, this is an LMG and it will reach max spread very fast, especially for a gun which has pretty fast rate of fire like this weapon. So try to let it reset. Shoot like 3-4 bullets down range and then let it micro reset your weapon, similar to the way you would use your guns in Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. It's not of course as smooth as it is in those games, but this is the way you should be firing most weapons in Battlefield 6, and this gun is definitely no exception. You can see even in CQB on hip fire with a little bit of jump shooting, you can also take people out. I'm actually shocked how well this gun performs in all situations. This gun had a big brother or older brother, or I guess the real gun, which is called M27 IAR in Battlefield 3, and it was also a light machine gun for the support class, and it was also a very incredible gun as well. And there, of course, with the Battlefield 3 suppression, you could also suppress snipers. You could do a bunch with that weapon. I believe that this gun in Battlefield 6 has definitely, lived up to the big name of the M27 IAR from the past. We are down to only 4 flags now in escalation, and what I'm trying to do is just deny the enemy to try to get our flags. We are kind of losing at the moment, but we do have 3 flags, and I just want to make sure that no reinforcements are coming from that echo flag towards the middle area here of the map. LMGs are really good in this game when it comes down to positioning. If you position well and you know the map, so map knowledge is going to be key basically on every game mode and in every Battlefield game of the past. But in this game, I believe it is extremely important. In fact, positioning is probably the main skill gap there is in this game. Yes, we do have a little bit of movement, there is firing techniques to consider, but if you can position well, I'm not saying camping, just position well before you do open fire, you will live longer, which means you will be a mobile spawn point for your team, and you will also capture flags faster. So I found my way now on the enemy flag where I came from middle, and you can see I already took 2 people out. I'm still alive as I killed this guy as well. My squadmates now come to support us, and we also managed to capture this Charlie flag here as well. Now, after I have captured Charlie, I'm gonna make sure that nobody from the outside can actually enter Charlie to try to kind of post up, maybe place a spawn beacon, some annoying claimers or other bullshit we see in Battlefield 6. After we have secured the flag, I'm gonna go back where we came from, because I believe enemies are not gonna try to surround us from those areas they do have available, which is this flag in the middle. You can see how well this gun melts people on mid-range. I believe the mid-range for this weapon is probably the most optimal distance you want to find yourself before you open fire. Yes, it does well on CQB and long range, but I believe it's really a mid-range monster. So you have to find those engagements yourself. If you aren't on mid-range and you believe you can be on mid-range, then go a little bit further. Find yourself a head glitch, find yourself some good position for cover where you do have line of sights on the objectives and on the enemy spawns if you do know some of the spawns. On a better offensive, the spawns on escalation are completely random from what I can tell, so you're gonna have to find those yourself. Now, I'm a type of player in Battlefield, and I always have been, that lurks around the flags. I never actually go on the objective myself, because this is what most of your team is gonna be doing, so you don't have to be yet another soldier capping the flag in the middle of the point while the enemies are spawning all around you and swarming the objective, as you are all basically low on health from just the current firefights you had. So I like to look around, try to take out people that are coming in, and help my team in being that kind of, let's call it, side objective clearer. I really enjoyed that kind of flanking playstyle in Battlefield 6. And then, if people do manage to die inside the objective or they need ammo, I will actually go inside there, revive anybody I can, drop ammo, heal them, and do, you know, the support job if I have to do it. So here's a spawn beacon, and of course, what do we do with the spawn beacon? It comes from the assault class. We wait and kill him as we always do, because fuck the assault class. Dude, I hate having assault in my squad in Battlefield 6. He's completely worthless. Yes, he has the spawn beacon, but let's face it, most assault players in Battlefield 6 just run the ladder to, you know, try to glitch on the rooftops. So I, you know, like to spawn camp the assault players on their spawn beacon. Guys, if you enjoyed watching this video and you found this guide helpful, you also like this, you know, kind of in-game commentary to show the weapon and what it is capable of, then please consider leaving a like. If you're new here, consider leaving a subscription as well. I'm going full in on Battlefield 6. I'm covering the game extensively, so I think you might enjoy my content if you are still playing Battlefield 6 multiplayer. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next Battlefield 6 video. This is Ace, signing out. Bye-bye.